But let's slide on. Let's talk about Hunter x Hunter. Nen Impact. Not only has it been a good week for Hunter x Hunter with the actual gameplay reveal, we finally saw something, so some news and some movement on the gaming front. Tagashi's back writing Hunter x Hunter. He's drawing panels, bruh. I seen some of it. He dropping some new shit. So on top of him drawing new panels, we finally got the gameplay reveal for Hunter x Hunter and Impact to see what the game looks like, how it's feeling. Very, you know what I'm saying, MVC, very Marvel's Capcom DNA in it. When we saw Sonic Fox, he had some positive notes on it as well. I know what you said about, you know what I'm saying, the FGC community looking at it, seeing if it's solid as well. But from your view, from what you saw this gameplay, how do you feel about Nen Impact?
I think it's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna really needs to, like, the roster I think is gonna be a huge factor in it. But what I've seen so far looks dope. It's not gonna wow you with the crazy graphics. It's not gonna wow you with the flashiness. Hopefully the music is good, because there's just like certain components in a fighting game that you need to have like ticked on, but like the graphics are not going to wow you. But if they got some good music and a solid roster, I think this game could be really, really good. We all saw how well Dragon Ball FighterZ did. I think it needs to drop with some solid core FGC shit. Like, we need some good net play. That's going to be a big deciding factor. Like, if you guys can't nail that down off of jump, it's going to be an uphill battle, because this is a Hunter x Hunter popular anime, but not the most popular anime, right? It cannot get carried the way a Naruto or a Demon Slayer game gets carried. It's gonna have to be able to stand on its feet a little bit. I'm not sitting here and saying that like people don't care about Hunter x Hunter, but I'm sure a lot of people would be perfectly fine never playing the Hunter x Hunter game, even if they did watch the anime. Something like a Dragon Ball Z is different though. So I think what I read that Sonic Fox said is very, very good. Like, it's such a positive thing to hear that it plays better and it looks better when you actually are in front of it. He's saying that he enjoyed playing it in Evo Japan. I'm excited to play it myself. It is a game that I think I will be putting some hours in on but it really always comes down to how the online comes in, how that plays. What's the pricing like? Is this gonna be a full $60 title? I don't think it should be. I think it should be a dope $50, maybe I would think 40 would be the perfect price point for it. But a dope 50, a dope 40 game would be spot on, and a solid roster. Because I don't think you're gonna be able to pull people in just off of graphics alone or the flashiness of the fighting. But if you get a cool roster of characters and some good balancing in there too, like, we obviously that shouldn't even really need to be said, but we can't have an unbalanced ass game, because we don't want to see the same issue that Marvel vs. Capcom had, where like everybody was running Virgil. So I really hope that they nail the roster and that they nail the net play, because that's going to be really, really huge for a game like this. It doesn't seem like the type of game that's going to be carried by the licensing. It's going to be carried by the game itself.
Yeah. My thing is, it felt very super, like, again, Super Mario Bros. Capcom-ish in this gameplay there. I thought some of the gameplay I saw on Twitter it was cooked compared to what it was on YouTube. So I want people to take what they saw on Twitter or other social media stuff with a grain of salt, because I felt like the YouTube version of it looked way better than what people were seeing. People were like saying, "Oh, it looked like a DS game" and stuff like that. I think it looked way sharper in the YouTube format. So probably check on other social platforms for that stuff to make sure you're seeing its best version, at least at the time. I don't think it looks like amazingly fluid right now. It looks a little bit like super fast, snappy motions. Again, Marvel vs. Capcom, basically literally just that with the very snappy animations, movement, trying to get quick to it. I'm very optimistic about it. I'm actually pretty optimistic about it. I think that this is solid. My biggest gripes would be our concerns would be the roster is one, and the net play would be the other. I feel like they're gonna have enough difference to really create a really nice combat flow with the systems, where they're pulling from kind of that DNA and ethos in terms of what they're bringing to the fighting game, bring to this fighting game. But the roster, I feel like outside of, people from every area, I think they'll just about have enough in their base roster. But I wonder how much you got like all members of the Phantom Troop. You got, people from the Chimera and Arc Era. Like there's a good amount I think that they can cover. I just wonder what their plan is going to be to release that roster. Like how many are you going to have base game, how many are going to drop with DLC, because I know you're going to have DLC. I'm sorry, I just can't assume the best with anybody anymore. Like what's the rollout for that? How's that going to look? And and how's it going to play online? As long as you keep those two things solid, have a good base, everything else is going to fall into place. I don't think people will complain about how snappy it looks, or maybe it doesn't look as smooth as say like a Street Fighter and shit like that. I think people are not going to complain about that much if the gameplay is smooth and it's responsive online. People won't give a fuck about that. So I have a solid expectation for this game. 100%, it looks good. It looks good, man. It looks good. I have positive vibes from it.
Yeah, no, I think that it's going to make an impact. The issue is how long will it last, and that's the biggest concern, because every fighting game that comes out, especially anime fighting games, like even people even playing the Persona game, they all get a player base, but the question is how long will that player base last?
Yeah, that's a very good question, but we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully it gets the right, just marketing and word of mouth to hopefully sustain it, to have a good first initial boost, and then sustain itself in the updates to come.